December, everyone. Thanks for tuning into our December WIG Report. I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. And before we talk updates, I want to give a special thanks to those that worked Thanksgiving Day in our communities and helped make Thanksgiving extra special for our residents and their loved ones. Sadly, a lot of folks don't necessarily visit their loved ones in our communities, particularly in care services, but a lot of folks do during the holidays, and it's always a good reminder for us. It's a great time of year for us to shine. So thank you for everyone who worked the holiday and is working the holidays in your community. Great time for us to shine. Thank you for doing just that. As for updates, I'd like to start with census and retention. Our overall census is currently sitting right at 85%, which puts us on track to finish the year 1.5% better than we started. Improvement. Our overall turnover, which we track on a rolling 12-month basis, is sitting right at 65%, which is 8% better than where we started. So both good numbers. We'll start January off with some year-over-year comparisons, and I look forward to reflecting on another year full of both challenges and growth. The big update for today is somewhat old news at this point, hopefully it's not new to you, and that is that we were again certified a great place to work. So all 15 of our communities plus Live Long Well Care, our home health company, and our home office were certified. Because we've done so well the past few years, last year actually, Forbes named us as one of the top places to work in senior housing for the entire country. So just congratulations to each of you on this year's certification. As we've stated before, time and time again, our communities are only as great of a place to work as each of us chooses to make them. We set another participation record this year with 92% of our team members completing the survey, which means 2,627 of you gave us feedback. And of that feedback, 76% of the scores were positive, 17% of the scores were neutral, so neither great, neither bad, neutral, and 7% of our scores were negative. This was actually a slight decline, so that's not good. This was a slight decline from where we stood last year. Overall, still great results, still certified across the board, and of course, we have plenty of opportunity to improve, which is always our goal. And so with that said, the most important part of this survey is the feedback and our use of it to get better. So each community and individual department is reviewing the comments that each of you gave to identify and tackle first low-hanging fruit. Hey, is there something really easy we can knock out, show that we heard you, we listened, now we're doing something about it. And then also beyond those low-hanging fruit items, reviewing those comments, reviewing the feedback to assess, okay, what are some things we can do long-term strategically to keep getting better. In some cases, the feedback was vague. I have to add that, and we've instructed teams, our community leadership, to solicit specific comments, suggestions, and even ideas so we can get clarity on some of the generic feedback and how do we get better. For example, maybe one said, needs better communication. Okay, great. I think we can all probably agree on that all the time. Well, what does that mean? Like, how can we communicate better? And so one of the things that we'll be doing over the next couple of months in each of your communities is asking some of those questions, whether it's through a formal, another survey, more poignant, more targeted survey, or perhaps in an all-star meeting. It's always important to participate in those. Help us get better. I'd also like to add that one broad takeaway, and this is having gone through all the comments, this is a broad takeaway for the whole community, or whole company, I should say, overall, was that we can do a better job clearly communicating and explaining the benefits that we do offer, and we are already working to address this. We will also be expanding or adding to our benefits to continue to differentiate ourselves from our competition, continue to make senior living communities, all of our communities, a greater place to work. So again, I just want to thank everyone for your participation. I encourage you to keep practicing radical candor with us, help make our communities a greater place to both live and work. Today's leadership message is about the importance of perspective when communicating. This was partially inspired by the turbulent political climate we've been in almost the past year plus, probably longer than that really, but we just got through an election, a lot of different opinions on it. So this is partially inspired by that, and also by the fact that usually the biggest barrier, the number one breakdown in all relationships, personal and professional, is usually communication. So to start, I'd like to share a parable perhaps many of you have heard. It is the blind men and the elephant. So imagine 6 blind guys, all never seen an elephant before. They have no idea what an elephant is or it looks like. Each of those 6 individuals who are blind, they walk up to that elephant, different part of it, and they start describing what they touch. First guy, he touches the side and declares, this is like a wall. The second, he touches the tail and declares, no, this is like a rope. The third, he grabs the tusk and says, this is like a spear. The fourth touches the trunk and says, no, it's like a snake. The fifth, the leg, and he says, it's like a tree trunk. And the sixth touches the ear and he says, this is like a fan. All 6 of these blind men are fully confident that they are 100% right. The reality is their perspective is only partially true. They are only touching part of that elephant. They're not seeing it and they're only touching, they're feeling part of it. They don't have the full perspective. None of them does. Ultimately, thinking about that parable, we all suffer from a lack of perspective at times, and we all have tendencies to think that we are 100% right and others or someone else is 100% wrong. Usually neither is correct. None of us are that smart or that silly for either to be true. Exceedingly rare for someone to be 100% right, also exceedingly rare for someone to be 100% wrong, and in both cases, no one is either of those things all the time. There is usually a degree of truth to every perspective, and again, I'm not saying no universal truths. I firmly believe in universal truths, but there's usually a degree of truth to every perspective, and if we want to improve our communication, we should first start by trying to see the other person's perspective. Find the common ground, and then begin to make arguments as to the disagreement, your opinion. So the next time you experience conflict at work, maybe during a holiday family meal, perhaps even a political disagreement, remember the blind men and the elephant. Find the perspective. For this month's team member benefit highlight, I've got 2 of them. We're going to highlight the very seasonally appropriate benefit of holiday pay. We got many holidays here at the end of the year. Thanksgiving, of course, just passed us this past week. So if you don't recall, if you work a holiday, you receive holiday pay, which is time and a half for all hours worked on that holiday. So the holidays that qualify for holiday pay are Memorial Day, Labor Day, Independence Day, Thanksgiving Day, which you just had, and the soon approaching Christmas Day and New Year's Day. I should also add that overtime, when applicable, is paid on top of this. So if you're working more than 40 hours a week and you work a holiday, you're getting your overtime for the hours in excess of 40, and you're getting time and a half for all those hours that you work on the holiday. There is no action necessary to receive holiday pay. It's pretty simple. You work those days, it's automatically added to your paycheck. And just for perspective, if you were to work an 8-hour shift on all 6 of the eligible holidays I mentioned a moment ago, that's the same as getting paid a bonus worth 24 hours, more than half a week of extra pay. So this season in particular, got a couple more holidays coming up before the end of the year, as we start the year. If you want to earn some extra money, it's a great way to do it. The second team member benefit that I'd like to highlight is in honor of our members, and I really want to give them a shout out. They don't receive these communications, but I want to take the opportunity to thank our residents, thank our members, because this is one of our most unique benefits that is not provided by the company, but provided by our members, and that is our Employee Appreciation Fund. So most of our independent living members, in the case of our Wellmores, we even have a few resident groups or residents loved ones groups that do this. Our residents create a team member appreciation fund at the end of the year, and they basically give you year-end bonuses. And these can be quite substantial. Several of the community funds raise more than $100,000 each year. That is remarkable. Every community's program is ultimately different because it is organized and funded by the members, not the company. And I just want to highlight that program. Really unique benefit, truly to the generosity of our residents. We thank them for it. And I'll add, I sometimes get asked, all right, why is the company not involved in the appreciation fund? Why don't we contribute? Answer super simple. If we did, it'd be treated as payroll tax. You'd lose 15%. So that's why we don't do it. It's truly a benefit provided by our residents, members, sometimes their loved ones as well. So kudos to them. Shout out. Want to highlight that as one of our benefits this month. It's typically here in the first couple weeks of December that folks are giving that out. So thank you. Credit to our members.
Good afternoon. I'm Tammy Cantley-Clark, Care Services Administrator at the Lakes at Litchfield. Here with me, I have Shelby Hanna, Resident Care Director, and I also have Mary Singleton, one of our CNAs in Pauley's Pavilion.
Miss Mary, we want to thank you for your 25 years of dedication to the Lakes of Litchfield and all the families that you have touched.
Mary has been chosen as our Spotlight Hero. She went over to the hospital. One of our longtime residents had transitioned to the end of life, and Mary was requested at her bedside, and Mary went over, and we thank you for that, Mary.
I just wanted to say it was such an honor and a privilege to be with her at the end of her life and to be a blessing to her family as well as her. And I just want to say thank you to my immediate supervisors for allowing me to go there to be with her at that time.
Mary, not only did you make a huge impact while she lived here with us at the Lakes, but especially during that moment for her and her family. We thank you for your dedication to the Lakes. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Hey, my name is Heather. I am the Care Service Administrator at Marsh's Edge, and I'm very happy to be able to brag on Tanya for a little bit. I think she's very deserving of the recognition, and she really does little things that add up to be a huge impact. And one thing she recently did was I was having a tour with a prospect for assisted living, and his primary concern was if his long-term care insurance would be compatible with Marsh's Edge, also what the billing would look like monthly. And Tanya, once I found that information out, I tried to bring her down to speak with him while he was here, and she dropped everything she had planned, made herself available, came down, brought her business card, gave him her cell phone, and also just said, hey, put my name on your insurance policy so that they will communicate with me. And she called the insurance company directly and really got to the bottom of what exactly they would need. And ultimately, this additional support that the prospect needed just made his decision for him to move into assisted living. And he has told me multiple times that he feels so supported by Marsh's Edge, not just in the nursing staff and administration, but also in the billing department. And I think that really helped his sense of security, and that's why he decided to move here. So small acts of kindness that Tanya did really added up to a huge impact, and we're very glad to have her on our team.
Hi, this is Gracie Little. We want to highlight her as our Hero of the Month for Homestead Hills. She definitely went above and beyond this month with helping one of our members get medical treatment that he needed. Gracie, why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, there was a resident that didn't feel too well in the bar, and his wife recognized it. Once she brought it to my attention, I went to the front desk, let the receptionist know that an ambulance could be called the ambulance, and we all took action to making sure that he was taken care of.
Thanks to Gracie, that member is now back home and able to make a full recovery.
Awesome work, heroes. Everyone, please remember the elephant and to seek perspective. Let's finish the year strong and continue delivering the weather life to more people.